Welcome, Earthlings! From the minds of Dylan Oltoft and Rob McNabb, we bring you Laughing on a Prayer!
Here's podcast.
Hey, Georgie. Dylan.
And when you're down here, you'll podcast too.
All work and no podcast makes Rob a dull boy.
I'm tired, boss. I'm tired of running away from podcasting. That sounded very old man-y there.
Dylan Altar. The first time I laid eyes on him, I thought that was the most ginger son bitch I ever seen in my entire life. That was not a good impression. That was really bad.
Podcast. Hello there, everybody, and welcome to... Jesus Christ, what, like 53, 54? Jesus, we're at a fucking fuck ton of these now.
Jesus left a long time ago.
To the next episode of Laughing on a Prayer. We are your hosts, Dylan Oltoft, and you are...
What were you about to say?
I don't know.
I thought you were about I am Dark Tower or something.
Oh, Dark Tower. I could have done a fucking quote there.
Yeah, god damn it, man.
Too late now. Who are you?
I'm it.
Ah, fuck's sake. We're not doing a who's on base thing here. Just tell them your fucking...
Okay, my name is Rob McNabb.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is. And what's your name?
I said mine a minute ago.
Did you?
You know, if you're not even paying attention a minute and a half in, how can we ask the audience to?
Well, I'm sorry, I just saw a red balloon floating by the window. I was distracted.
Oh, where are the another 98 of them?
I don't... You asked me like I should know that.
Do you think Pennywise was the inspiration for that song? What? 99 red balloons, killing kids will do it soon. I think that's how it goes.
Do you know what? He actually might have been. Like, try and sing a song so you're not scared of him. So you're like, oh shit, there's loads of red balloons. Let's sing a song so I'm not scared of him.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
That's now canon.
Yeah, that is.
Today we are going to be discussing...
Sorry, Stephen. We are sorry.
You know what? I would believe he'd listen to our podcast. Stephen King's like into the weirdest random shit. And I think that pretty much covers us to a T.
Touch wood.
So yes, welcome. We are going to be tackling one of the greatest authors ever to exist over the last 1,000 years.
Not physically, though. Just on this.
I mean, he does physically exist.
Yeah, I know, but we're not physically going to be tackling Stephen King to the ground.
I know he's a bit old now, but I reckon he could take it. He'll probably write a book about it. 10,000 pages.
The tackling.
No, Rob, this is Stephen King. It'll be called The Tackle Dashers.
Oh.
Tommy Knocker fans will be laughing there. Yes, as we know, Stephen King, he's written a book or two, hasn't he? He's a bit of an obscure writer,
yeah,
I've very niche.
I've heard that Stephen King has been known to write, a couple of pages or so.
A page or two, a short story writer.
Yeah. Nothing major, like nothing big, like at all.
You know, he's had a real big problem with child services in his life because of where he chooses to keep all of his children.
Where's that?
Oh, I was making a Children of the Corn joke.
He keeps them in a...
Are you familiar with Children of the Corn?
I am familiar.
Right. So yes, obviously...
Well, sorry, like you said children, so I was thinking of like it. I was like, in the sewer?
No, Pennywise is in the sewer.
Yeah, but there are kids there.
Well, anyway, we will be talking about... Obviously, Stephen King has written a lot of books, and a lot of those books have been adapted into a lot of films. Rob, have you read many of the Stephen King books yourself?
I can't read.
By the way, he drives, so don't be behind Rob on the fucking motorway.
Yes, but with that being said...
Hey, was that our last turn? I don't know.
With that being said, road signs are symbols. Therefore, bosh.
Accident ahead. If I can't read it, it's not illegal.
Yeah. It's like accident ahead. Yeah, no, there's a pregnant woman. I get it.
Speaking of which, it's interesting. I don't know if you're aware that during Stephen King's life, he actually suffered a rather near-death car accident.
Oh, he did.
He got his ass ran the fuck over, and a lot of fans of Stephen King would agree that his writing significantly changed after his accident, mainly because his book following that, Dreamcatcher, followed aliens that appear by exploding out of your rectum.
Please explain further, because that sounds very sexy.
It's basically, aliens burrow themselves in your mind and they kill people by exploding out of your ass.
Yeah.
I believe what was it? Yeah, Stephen King wanted, this is him quoting, he wanted to do what Alfred Hitchcock did to the shower to the toilet.
Fill it with blood. Kill a woman in it.
Yeah, just sort of like make
Stab
people...
a woman to death in the toilet.
You know, like people will watch Psycho and be afraid to take a shower again, I guess. And so Stephen King wanted to make people afraid to take a shit, I suppose.
So you literally could be scared shitless.
Hey! Yes, yes.
Hey!
Well, that's why I always hang a picture of Pennywise on the back of my bathroom door to scare the shit out of me.
Which Pennywise, though?
Is
that Tim Curry or Bill Skarsgård?
If it was Tim Curry, I'd just be too erect.
Yeah,
and those,
Rocky
and
Horror
those two
Show,
things
man.
are just too, very paradoxical.
Yeah, Rocky Horror Show, man.
Oh. But that's not Stephen King, so that can be saved for another episode.
Yeah.
Yes. But what would you say? Okay, so you're not familiar with any of Stephen King's books?
I'm familiar with the books, but I haven't read them. I'm familiar with the films.
Okay.
I'm more of a cinephile. And yes, that's a thing, and no, it's not creepy.
As someone that has read a plethora of Stephen King's books, including every single one of the Dark Tower books. What?
Because you're literate.
And me and Rob have seen quite a lot of Stephen King movies. Rob, let's start this off rather simply. What would you say is your favourite Stephen King movie?
My favourite Stephen King movie, I know it's pretty cliche, but it is The Shining. Now, we will get onto the fact that
I thought you were going to say The Langoliers.
Well, you were wrong.
I'll explain to you later why that's an awesome story, but carry on.
I know that it's quite famous. It's quite a famous fact that Stephen King actually hated the Kubrick Shining film to the point that he actually decided to make his own.
Yes, but what Stephen King made, rather than it was a separate film, it was one of his TV miniseries, similar to that of the original It and like I said it before, the Langoliers and the Tommyknockers. Something that is actually like, if you watched it in its entirety, it'd be like 3 hours long.
Yeah. Which you could do. I reckon you could do that. Like,
I would watch the original It.
Like you could do because the original Tim Curry one, that was 2 parts, wasn't it?
Again, it was multiple parts. It was a miniseries.
Yeah, it was made for TV, wasn't it?
Yeah, and TV shows only last half an hour, so they release them half an hour at a time.
Well, not all of them, though. Like, I reckon you can make it now, because like, now TV shows, the kind of consensus is that, like, they're an hour long, aren't they? Like,
is that even so on regular television, not just streaming services?
Well, no, like,
if I sat down to watch Coronation Street, is that an hour long now? Or?
No, it's not, but TV miniseries, stuff like Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad...
I wouldn't call one of those mini-series.
Well, series.
I think that's the emphasis, the fact that it's a small amount of episodes.
Well, like Band of Brothers is a mini-series because it's only 1 season. Like, there's
6 episodes, isn't it?
It's 10 episodes, but they're an hour long.
Yeah, though that's...
I guess. You could do that, for sure.
I don't know, I think that's just a regular season. Like, 10 episodes, that's pretty average.
But I think that's what's called a mini-series, is that it doesn't go past 1 season.
Let us know down in the comments which one of us is right. Probably Rob.
It's probably neither of us, to be fair.
I'll go a little into detail about why Stephen King disliked his version, Kubrick's version of The Shining. As someone else that has read the book, I absolutely understand it quite a lot.
Because we need to make this podcast last, an hour at least.
Yes, or at least give it some sort of credibility than 2 wankers burbling on about, like Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, just to clarify, Dylan is the King aficionado.
I need that tattooed on my knob somewhere. King aficionado.
No, chess piece, definitely. Definitely a chess piece.
Yeah, it's true. There's not enough room down there.
Yeah, exactly.
I might get kin, but and in Alabama that might have different context.
Oh, diggity no, boy.
We can make that joke. There's actually one of Stephen King's favourite book stereotypes is having hillbillies or some sort of redneck of some kind.
Yeah.
But Rob, why did you like Kubrick's The Shining?
Well, the reason why I liked it is partly through the kind of glasses of nostalgia. I will admit that right now. Is the fact that it was the first film.
When did you watch it? Or how old were you?
Oh God, I think I was probably maybe 13.
I feel like we talked about this in the Halloween episode, probably.
Yeah, was I 13? I was quite young when I watched it. I remember I was quite young when I watched it.
I wouldn't say that's too young, to be honest, because it's not an especially gory horror film. I know there's that elevator, but it's mainly just atmospheric horror.
Yeah, and this is the point, is that when I watched it, that was when I actually fell in love with, like, atmospheric stuff and atmosphere. And it's not just, like, jump scares and gross looking, even though there is, like, I guess the woman in the bath, you know, that's gross looking, but like it was the
holy shit, yeah, you saw a fully naked woman when you were 13. Nice one.
Yeah,
but then that moment's 10 seconds after.
Yeah.
But you know, you know.
It was the first time that I was like, oh, do you know what, this is actually the scary stuff I like. I like this suspense. I love how it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Did it make you scared at any point? Like, proper afraid? Like, what the fuck?
No, it didn't. But it made me feel very uncomfortable, which actually had more of an effect on me than being scared.
Interesting.
A bit like The Others, you know, The Others with Nicole Kidman?
Oh, I love that film. It's great.
Yeah. Very suspenseful, atmospheric. And that was the point. I was like, you know, this is actually the scary stuff that I like. It's not just like jump scare, get scared, or like, I mean, I love gross out stuff. I'm a gore hound, but we talked about this as well. I love blood and guts and stuff. But The Shining was the first time where I watched that film and I was like, oh, do you know what? I was thinking about it like for days after I watched it. Still, it stuck with me.
Are you of the crowd that believes that maybe Nicholson's performance wasn't as subtle as maybe it should have been? Like, a lot of people talk about the idea that Jack was crazy sort of right from the beginning. Like, Nicholson's performance didn't really have much... there wasn't much travelling for the character. Like, he started off an angry, crazy asshole and ended a crazy asshole.
In a way, but I really didn't pay huge much attention actually to the characters. I paid a lot of attention just to like the hotel in itself. To me, in a way, was a character in itself, about how it was like this encompassing, and the maze, how it was this kind of overbearing kind of sort of sentinel that was driving him mad. And obviously there's the iconic scene, here's Johnny, amazing. And Jack Nicholson's performance, absolutely incredible.
Okay, yeah, credit where it's due.
Sure, but,
iconic.
But the thing that I took away from the film was not necessarily the characters, it was the just the kind of the tone of it. That's what made me like stick with it, or make it stick in my mind.
Are you familiar with the pop culture knowledge that the actor that played Danny didn't know he was making a horror film? When The Shining was being constructed, Kubrick was actually really protective of the little boy that played Danny. So the little boy thought he was making some sort of drama, and Kubrick made sure he saw nothing scary and all that. The actor didn't even know when he grew up that he'd even been in a horror film.
Really?
So the boy Danny, while he's doing everything, he thought like he just was doing a little like a house drama with a little imaginary friend. He had no idea he was making a horror film. Which I thought was quite interesting, even though Kubrick was an absolute cunt to the actress that played Shelley Duvall. I'm sure you've heard about that. How he absolutely emotionally abused her. Yeah, Kubrick told people to be an asshole to her, to make her dishevelled and vulnerable, and apparently the actress said she sustained a lot of problems following the film shoots and all that.
Yeah,
for the rest of her life.
Back to Kubrick.
By the way, fuck Kubrick.
Vince D'Onofrio, who played Private Pyle, he had a lot of problems after Full Metal Jacket. As well.
There are plenty of directors who are amazing directors that don't need to traumatise and be absolute dicks.
Oh, what's that? What's it? Peter Jackson, who did Lord of the Rings? Oh, that's weird. He wasn't a cunt to any of his actors. Oh.
So many people, I know I'm didacting a bit here, but Kubrick was such a mastermind, therefore he's allowed to do whatever he wants to people.
So justified. Harvey Weinstein also produced loads of Quentin Tarantino films, so that makes what he did alright. Mate, fuck off.
And I'm sure Hitler probably in his lifetime spared the lives of quite a lot of pigs by not eating bacon sandwiches. Doesn't justify the rest of it.
Yeah, exactly. Also, no. You know that Hitler actually, stopped testing on animals, but instead he tested on people. The point is, don't be a cunt. Like, just because it's like, but the ends doesn't necessarily justify the means. But, that's what he's famous for, and I don't know why people put him on pedestal. But we're not talking about Kubrick.
No.
We are talking about Stephen King.
Regarding The Shining, the reason King did not enjoy The Shining is because, as someone that's read the book, the main character of The Shining isn't the little boy Danny. You see a lot of chapters from his perspective, but the main character of The Shining is Jack. And Jack, in his entirety, is a very complex character. He was a teacher and as well as an author that got fired from his job because he beat the shit out of a student that was keying his car, and he got.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and he got. Well, that's the thing. Jack does have anger issues, and he has issues as being an alcoholic, and he has a lot of suppressed rage because, as a child, his own father beat his mother, who never left him because she was Catholic, and they weren't allowed to get divorced back then.
As far as I understand, Wendy in The Shining is actually completely different in the book than she is in the film.
Just about to get to
She's far more submissive in the film, whereas in the book she's actually a very strong, kind of almost like abrasive
and
character.
that's part of the drama because, again, Jack as a young boy had a mother that was beaten, and his own wife is constantly emasculating him, and as you're going through it, the seething resentment is building and building as Jack is in withdrawal from his alcoholism, feels emasculated and resentment towards his own family. He's just been fired from his job and all that. He has no sense of self-worth. He's got writer's block while he's trying to write a book. And all of those things compiled together with small supernatural influences slowly worming their way, telling him what he wants to hear, feeding him all of his things, like, again, alcohol with what was his name? Lloyd the barman, feeding him alcohol. The woman in the shower. The hotel was feeding his base desires to try and manipulate him. And it's so good in the book because Jack is dealing with all those other factors. Resentment for his family, his place as a man in the world, alcohol withdrawal, his addiction. That's what made Jack the main character. But in the Kubrick movie, he's just a bit of a dick.
Yeah, but also in the Kubrick movie, there is the the theme of his alcoholism, that he goes to the bar that he doesn't have to pay for, so he gets really drunk, and then he comes back the next day and he says, "Hair of the dog that bit me," which is whiskey, which again is a hard liquor, which sort of it again, like, don't give an alcoholic free booze because it will just descend into.
I don't know
it's not going to end well.
Did you watch the sequel they made a few years ago, Dr. Sleep?
No, I've not seen that. With Ewan McGregor, and I feel I should have.
He's amazing in it. As a Ewan McGregor fan, hello there. Please do watch
General Kenobi! Sorry.
Because there's a moment at the end of the film, I won't give out any spoilers, but he does go back to the hotel, and he goes right back into that same bar. And Danny and him himself, as an adult, is struggling with alcoholism himself.
Well, yeah, look at what his dad was like.
Then he sits at the bar, and behind the bar, who appears but Lloyd, but it's his father.
Really? That's quite nuts, man.
His father offering him a drink. And he's trying to talk to him like he's his dad. And it's almost that uncanny valley thing where he's saying he has no idea what he's talking about, even though it's an actor obviously playing Jack Nicholson, young Jack Nicholson. And he's saying, like, he's talking to him, trying to talk to his dad, and Lloyd's being like, I have no idea what he's doing. Oh, yeah, good old Lloyd. Pouring joy at the Overlook. I'll pour anything you want, sir. And all that. And then there's this really interesting long monologue where he talks about how alcohol is medicine. That is a really big theme in the idea. He talked about families like a man tries, a man provides. You know what a family is? It's mouths eating away at your time, your being, everything that you are eats away at you until there's nothing left. And then he pours a drink and said, that's medicine. That helps it go down so well. And it's the interesting mindset of what an alcoholic would consider alcohol, the thing that numbs the pain of life.
Yeah,
medicine.
Exactly. It makes real life good.
And
or less shit, I should say.
And King is so great at conveying the temptation that addicts go through. Because a lot of his films and his books deal with the themes of addiction in different forms. And the way King interestingly explores it is in the different ways. An addict will justify feeding their own addiction, i.e. because it makes them creative, because it makes them a better person, because of, an addict will always find a way to justify their addiction.
Or it just makes them feel like less crap about themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the fundamental thing. It's like why people take stuff, like why people drink, why people drink coffee, why people smoke, why people do drugs, is because it makes them feel well, better.
Well, that, and for
Not
some
necessarily
people,
for the
they're
best.
trying to escape from something.
Yeah, exactly. And not necessarily for the best reasons, but it makes them feel better. That's why, again, like you said, why did Jack go down to the bar to start drinking?
Well,
Because he felt crap and he wanted.
Well, yeah, I think believe in the
feel better.
film, it's like Shelley had just yelled at him. I think, because Danny had the mark on his neck and Shelley thought that he'd whacked him, so he wandered around. Because then he starts talking like, I wouldn't hit a hair on that little bastard's head.
Yeah.
I did it once, okay? That was 3 goddamn years ago!
Yeah. And
I could quote that scene line for line.
That could be considered as like a drunken rant in his own head.
Oh yeah, the way Jack talks to Lloyd as a
Yeah.
former barman is exactly
like
the
he's
way
talking to
drunks
himself.
like to talk to
Or,
at the
or
bar.
like talk to himself, maybe.
He is talking to himself. There's an interesting moment in that movie when he's dealing with the waiter that spilled something on him and he's being told about correcting his family. If you watch that scene very carefully, Jack at no point looks at the waiter and he's the whole time looking at the mirror.
Yeah.
If you rewatch that scene, even though the waiter's doing that, every time Jack's talking to him, and even though the if you notice there's an exterior, a shot a few feet away, the character Jack is looking at the mirror, never at the waiter.
There is that shot though, isn't it, where he is looking at himself, isn't there?
Yeah.
And because, the hotel is, quote unquote, empty, it's like he's probably, this barman is a manifestation in his mind where he's actually helping himself to booze.
Well, that's the thing. The hotel in itself could be one large metaphor for the temptation of addiction.
Yeah, potentially.
And when someone surrenders themselves to that temptation, they leave themselves vulnerable to do horrible things.
Yeah. And sometimes people, again, have violent tendencies.
Exactly.
Shit. It's like, if you're in the middle of fucking nowhere, you thought you'd get away with it. There are some people that would be like, yeah, I could probably fucking kill someone.
The thing is, people like you and me, we could easily live at that hotel. Imagine
free bar? Fuck yeah.
Imagine if there was Wi-Fi. I could so be stranded in that fucking castle.
Well, exactly.
I could work out, write, play video games.
Can you imagine how many fucking podcasts we could get out of it?
We'll bring the ladies along and all that sort of thing. Even if we all get in arguments, we could be at our hotel's like a mile apart, so we could you could probably crap in a different room every day for months.
Yeah, definitely.
I could so be stranded out there in that hotel.
Yeah,
as long as, of course, luckily we're fully functioning people, so there's no way ghosts could prey on our minds and we go on a killing rampage.
Yeah, but it'd be alright. Well, first of all, I'm too lazy for that. Oh yeah, kill these people. Can't. Sorry, too hungover. Been at the bar.
That's the thing. Voices would try and get in my head telling me to kill you all, and the voices that are currently there would be, hey, piss off, this is my turf, and throw them out.
Yeah, do you know, that's why I'd be able to, that's why I would be able to resist the Imperious Curse in Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah?
Because it's like, the whole point of it is like the idea of suggestion, like you suggest someone does it, I'd be like, yeah, no, too lazy, can't be bothered.
Actually, that's just made me think of an interesting idea for a horror film.
What?
Imagine a possessed person, someone that's possessed by a demon, goes into a haunted house. That could be interesting, because the house is haunted by ghosts, and the person going in there is already possessed. Imagine what could be done with that, like a demon having to interact with a haunting ghost and the person that's in the middle of it all. And...
Do you think, like, the ghosts would... I mean, like...
Could the ghost fight the demon? Who knows?
Would the ghost care?
Imagine a haunted house that cures you of your possession. That'd be cool. King, get on that. You're listening.
Yeah.
Get on that.
He says. He's...
If that idea I just said has been done, let us know down in the comments. Otherwise, I'm going to fucking write that.
You should do it right now. There's no time to lose. Get out.
Anyway, I think that's enough on The Shining and all that sort of thing. Are you more familiar? Okay, King's done a lot of horror. I mentioned
I think he's famous for it.
I don't know. There's The Green Mile, Shawshank. Those aren't exactly horror.
Misery.
That's
a pretty good one, though.
That goes into a lot of fears of creative types. Like you and I, imagine someone obsessed with Arthur and Angus kidnapping us to write the ultimate script for them.
I don't know. I mean, either way, they'd be left disappointed. I mean, who would? There'd have to be at least two of them.
Oh, yeah. Because I'm not saying we wouldn't be very easy to kidnap.
No.
Granted, I'm not saying he was in a car crash in the fucking snow.
Yeah.
You're in a slight vulnerable state, so maybe we're driving back from our 9th tour, rousing success and all that, and we get in a car crash.
Yeah, we'd probably be driving back from Wembley Stadium, definitely. 100%. The O2. Yeah, probably that.
Our tour bus, the size of an RV, is capsized. That we were given by our grant after being knighted. Anyway. But
Yeah, obviously.
Fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, and someone's holding us hostage like in Misery. Do you reckon you'd be able to get out of that situation the way he did?
No. Not the way he did.
Or do you reckon you might not get out of it and you'll just be fucking killed?
No, I would double bluff. I probably would be killed, actually, to be fair, but I would double bluff it.
I'd wait until the person got in close and bite their throat out.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I mean, if I'm not at first, someone's just in there.
I think I might stay in character, because I assume that... if we were on a tour bus, I assume I'd probably be quite drunk, so I'd probably stay in character.
If you're not driving, you're drinking.
Yeah, exactly. And they'd be like, oh, I want you to be Angus. I'd be like, I'll fucking be Angus, man. And then once I'm there, and obviously, teamwork makes the dream work. We could fight our ways out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That should be the plot of one of the Arthur and Angus movies. The Arthur and Angus get kidnapped, have to fight their way
Actually, it
out.
depends how hot the people are.
Oh, yeah, one of them could be female.
I mean, Annie Wilkes.
She was not hot. But
No, but, if it is, psycho women that are...
What's it say? Crazy women have the best pussy.
Yeah. I mean, the thing... I'd back you up. I'd be like, look, man, I know that you're... Dylan, I know that you're engaged, but we need to escape. So you got to do... what you got to do.
Knock them out with multiple orgasms. To the point they can't even walk.
Yeah.
And then we make our escape.
But,
why am I the only one taking the bullet here? You could go in for a couple rounds, tag in.
Well, yeah, no, because I'll be unlocking the door. I mean, it's better.
How long does it take you to unlock a door?
Well, I don't know what the door's like.
What if we're in a basement like in Saw, and we're both chained to a pipe?
Well,
even if I'm giving her the pipe, how are you going to get out?
No. Well, that's the thing. You got to lure them in.
What, with a sensual dance? I'll do my WAP.
Yeah.
I'll do my WAP shit.
Yes. Exactly.
Can we go back to Stephen King?
Yeah, we can go back to Stephen King. I guess. Fine.
Misery was very good, and I think it speaks to the again, like I said before, the creatives people quite a lot. Not obviously, no one would like to held in a hostage situation, but you and I have met, believe it or not, fans of our work sort of thing. And imagine coming across a fan that was just a little
those
bit...
people are very unstable. Those people need help.
And imagine somehow coming across someone more unstable.
I don't know if that's possible. The people that like our Arthur and Angus stuff are they are dangerous and absolutely they need help.
All of which you can watch on this very channel. Ding.
He's not lying. You can type it in. You'll see it, and you'll see that we're done. Because guess what? We actually do live stuff. Anyway, Stephen King.
Yes, I was mentioning earlier. I don't know. Do you have much else to say about Misery? I actually have very little to say. I didn't really enjoy the book myself, personally.
You've seen the film, clearly.
Yes.
What I liked about the film is, again, I love a good villain. I've always loved a good villain. And I think...
Did it turn out to her and she'd murdered kids in a hospital, if I recall?
Yes. I believe that is
She was named the Dragon Nurse or something.
But what I like about her is that her character, Annie Wilkes, is... It's not like the kind of moustache twirling, I have you now, villain. It's very kind of straight face and cold, stone faced kind of villain.
The way she shifts her moods and all that, do you reckon these days that might be some sort of schizophrenia or something?
I have no idea.
Maybe it's bipolarism or something.
I don't know. I have no idea. But again, it was the fact that she's actually quite subtle. Her kind of the way that when she is evil is actually quite subtle. It's not a sort of I have you now sort of villain. It's.
What did you watch as a kid?
I don't know, but I watched that, and I was actually. I think when someone is sort of stone-faced, that's kind of more sinister to me. Again, it's an opinion. To me,
so say someone that doesn't realise they're the bad guy.
Well, yeah, because no bad guy thinks they're a bad guy. But I feel like there are loads of.
I disagree, but we ain't got enough time to go into it.
She's not like a cartoonish bad guy, or like a cartoonish villain at all.
Well, Pennywise himself, I think he knows he's the bad guy.
Yeah, but he is kind of, and not to say that a cartoonish villain is bad, but in the context of which Annie Wilkes is in, I do find her very sinister and very menacing. And
that's
I love
of a higher quality of villain, you're saying?
Well, not necessarily higher quality, but it's my opinion. I love that atmosphere that she builds.
Okay, absolutely.
I love atmosphere and I love that stuff. And I thought she
enters a room and you have no idea what she's going to do.
Yeah, unpredictability. That is one of the...
Crazy, hobbling bitch.
That is one of the great qualities. Unpredictability. That's definitely one of them. I like her. I like her as a villain. Would I watch the film? I wouldn't put Misery on, just be like, oh yeah, I want to watch Misery. But
if I was having a Stephen King night, I feel I'd have to include it. But on its own, nah. I think I'd watch that between Shawshank and Green Mile or something. It's not something I'd watch first.
I wouldn't watch Green Mile or Shawshank, to be fair.
You don't like those films?
No, I do like them, but they're not like a film I sort of rush to watch again. I thought they were very good films, but
I'd say Shawshank's more approachable than Green Mile. Green Mile is just very unpleasant.
Yeah,
I know that's the fucking point.
Yeah, but neither of them. I don't think I'm like, oh, you know what? I'd like to watch Shawshank Redemption again. I don't think I'd do that. I'd be like, I watched it. I really liked it, but I wouldn't be like,
seeing the performance that who's now become a household name of Morgan Freeman. I think when that movie came out, he wasn't the seen as he is now sort of thing. It was it was fairly younger. I mean, Morgan Freeman's looked like he's been 50 for about the last 50 years, but
he might have been in films before that.
Oh, he's been in films. I'm not saying that's his first film. I'm just saying he wasn't the name he is now at that time. Yeah. So really looking at those performances, and even the corrupt prison warden was quite entertaining to watch.
I mean,
although in the book he did not have that man killed. That was just for the film. Remember in the guy that was going to testify to get Andy Dufresne out? Yeah, he didn't have him killed in the book.
Yeah.
He had him just sent away.
I feel like, again, like Shawshank, I just wouldn't put that film on and be like, oh yeah, I feel like watching Shawshank Redemption. It's not a pleasant film by any means. It's kind of sad that so many prisons, especially, how do I say this, red state prisons in America are still very much like that. You mean you watch films like that, or I know it's a comedy film, fucking The Longest Yard. Shawshank was in Oregon.
That's
a really liberal.
Really?
Well, it is now.
I get so much Texan vibes from that sort of prison.
I swear Shawshank was in Oregon.
Okay, congratulations. I blame myself.
Maybe it wasn't back then, but now it's a really left wing. Antifa. Anyway, we're not getting
corrupt prisons are fun.
Oh yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong, it is a good film.
Oh yes, but I'd say it's one of my favourite prison movies.
Yeah, but it's not a film that I'd be like, oh yeah, let's watch Shawshank Redemption again, or oh yeah, let's watch Green Mile again. It's no, I'm not just gonna sort of put that film on. Do you know what I mean? I've watched it.
We covered the Green Mile in our Tom Hanks episode.
Yeah.
And his obsession with making people watch pee. Someone confirm that in the comments, that they also noticed that pattern of Tom Hanks making us watch him pee. What's wrong with you? I was watching The League of Their Own the other day, and there was another scene of it.
Bro, there are other sites on the internet where you can watch a lot more people pee.
I know! I've got 9 tabs on my phone with that right now. Anyway. You always did a spit take there.
Almost, yeah, because I didn't drink.
Rob never spits.
No, I'm a good boy.
Let's go to
I'm not weak like other people.
Let's go to some of the more wackier ones, because like I said, after Stephen King's car accident, he became a much different writer.
Let's go to more wacky ones. So after Stephen King's car accident...
Well, I've explained Dreamcatcher, which had Morgan Freeman in it, where he actually described the aliens as shit weasels.
That's a good phrase.
I'm not kidding. Yeah, the aliens that burst out of your ass. He actually Morgan.
Shit weasels.
There's a time when Morgan Freeman says, "So what about the shit weasels?" He's like a big military guy. It's actually an amusing movie.
Shit weasels.
Some really wacky, insane performances. I don't know the guy who becomes possessed. A red-headed guy, and out of nowhere, on a snowmobile, he starts talking with a high-pitched British accent, like, "Is that quite right, Jerry? Is that quite right? Or do they prefer you to be called Jonesy?" It's the most insane shit you can imagine. He's suddenly talking in this high-pitched, energetic British accent, now that he's been possessed by the shit weasel alien.
Shit weasel.
Did you hear that sentence?
Yeah. That shit weasel, that's such a good one. It's like, I love the phrase, like, shitbird. Oh, mate, like, he was just a shitbird.
But yeah, let's go with the Langoliers.
Shit was good.
The Langoliers is another one of the TV series, miniseries, and it actually starts off with a really amazing, gripping premise, which is actually quite a common theme in a lot of Stephen King miniseries, where it starts off really interesting and really hooks you in, and then the finale is just really let down.
Oh, no.
It ended with a big spider and fucking, what is it, Tommy Knockers, aliens in space blowing up. And
I would say a bit like fucking It Chapter 2, where Pennywise turns into like a big spider.
To be fair, the creature from the Macroverse that sits at the edge of the universe, that's mortal enemy of the turtle that governs one of the 8 beams that leads to the Dark Tower that controls all of the entire multiverse that Roland is heading towards. But
Leave your name down in the comments if you understood a single word that Dylan just said.
it's all really simple. Basically,
Is it?
Yes, okay. The universe was vomited out by a giant turtle. And that turtle is one of the 8 guardians at the end of the beams that come out from the Dark Tower that presides over the Macroverse that sits at the top of the galaxy where it came from.
Are you just explaining Viking lore now, or what's going on?
Okay, so basically the mortal enemy of Pennywise is the turtle.
The turtle.
Yes. They covered
Really?
that. They covered that in the Skarsgård one, the Ritual of Chud and all that, didn't they?
Yeah, but then he got fucked up by a load of... Well...
Yeah, it didn't work in the book
Chastain
either.
and-
Then they had a gangbang in the sewer. It didn't work too well.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Again, Stephen King, bro, why don't you have a seat right over there? No, I want to know a little bit more about you.
Once again, everyone has a big problem with the gangbang, but all the child murder, that's A-okay.
Oh, yeah, but child sex, that's different, mate.
I agree with you.
So why did you think that it was okay to write a whole chapter about kids having sex?
To be fair to Stephen King...
Why don't you...
He's actually come out. He's actually come out and said, and been honest...
Oh, is he gay?
No, fucking hell. He's come out to explain, and he pretty much just put his hand up and said, all my writing, I was completely high and drunk off my ass.
Oh, so
I don't know why I wrote all that shit.
Oh, so... because you were on drugs, you thought it would be okay to write child pornography.
Wouldn't that be the only mindset where a person would think that's a rationally good idea?
No, but that's what everyone says. It's like, oh yeah, no, sorry, I was high or drunk. It's not my fault. Really? Oh yeah, no, sorry, I was drunk when I wrote that. Yeah, no. You're a bit of a pedo before you were drunk. You just got drunk and then your inhibitions flew away. And then you managed to write that, mate. Bit dodgy. Want to check your hard drive?
Interestingly enough, there's actually very little of that sort of thing across a lot of Stephen King media. Very little paedophiles. A lot of child abuse, physical, but never sexual.
Yeah, but...
Well, apart from Beverly, that is a little bit...
Yeah, but that's not the point, though, is it?
It was a little bit uncertain whether or not the father...
Yeah, that's not the point. Oh, yeah, sorry I wrote that child orgy, but I was high. Not really excuses. Oh, sorry I raped that girl. I was high.
Oh,
yeah,
come on,
not
the
really
guy's got
excuse,
corgis.
Yeah, the Queen has corgis.
Oh, Prince Andrew.
Oh, yeah, exactly. There we go.
It's all connected!
Yeah.
Oh shit, I hear helicopters! Stephen King's Illuminati confirmed. But yes, so the...
Well, yeah, they're all paedophiles.
The clown, it's all connected in the Dark Tower universe. Actually, well...
Can you explain the Dark Tower to people? Because
No, I can't.
Wait.
I actually...
Wait, you can't or you won't?
Fuck, there isn't enough time. Okay, I'll try and do a Cliff Notes version. Anyone that knows this is going to be crying for me right now. Basically, the Dark Tower is...
Oh, wait, you got 20 minutes.
There's so much more Stephen King. I wanted to explain the Langoliers. Now I've got to explain the fucking Dark Tower.
Oh, shit, yeah, no.
Can I quickly do the Langoliers?
I don't know, can you quickly do the Langoliers?
I actually can.
Okay, right, go,
Okay, so
go.
Stop interrupting me.
Do it.
Performance anxiety. I'm floppy. Anyway, so... How many times a day do you get to say that? Not enough.
Well, you, I don't know. Me, it's at least 4.
4 times a day? Fucking...
I talk to myself quite a lot.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So the Langoliers. It starts off with a bunch of people on an aeroplane, and they all go to sleep, and when they wake up, every other passenger on the entire plane, including one of the pilots, has mysteriously completely vanished. There's about 9 people left in the plane.
9?
Yeah. No one knows where anyone else has gone. No one can figure out anything. So they all eventually land in an airport, and there's no one else around. Nothing's happened. Water, like fizzy drinks, don't seem to bubble. Everything seems weird. There's no other one left in the world. And eventually they realise, that one of the pilots fucking hell, I'm not going to get through this.
Yes, you are. Come on. I believe in you.
One of the pilots accidentally flew the plane through a giant rip in space and transported them to one singular moment in time in the past. So that's why there's no one else around, because time has moved on without them, so there's no one left for them to be there. And they only have a certain amount of time to escape back through the primordial rip in space to get back to our time, because all of reality is constantly eaten up by giant floating, flying space balls that eat away all of...
Spaceballs, good film.
That all eat away all of existence. As every moment passes, it's all consumed up as time moves forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between, you heard it here first. I can only assume that is probably a very good description of what the Laurelithian...
What?
What do you call it?
The Langoliers.
The Langoliers.
That's what the balls that eat up all of reality as time moves forward are called.
Yes, eating balls.
You might be familiar in the Rick and Morty episode where there was the mentioned thing, the things that came that were patrolled time and all that to sort of put those colours on Rick. Those were based on the Langoliers. So the things' heads, that's what they looked like. They didn't have the bodies and arms, but their heads. That's what the Langoliers were. So that's what Rick and Morty were doing, because they were keepers of time, and in the Langoliers they eat time.
Do you know what? A lot of you has just started making a lot more sense to me.
So that's the Langoliers.
That's good. Okay.
How does that story sound to you? Interesting?
To say the least, yeah. I have a question for you, though.
Okay. Anything to get me away from the Dark Tower?
Yeah, apparently. But
I'll get to it. What's the question?
Okay. You're stuck on a desert island.
Okay.
Annie Wilkes, Jack
Torrance.
Jack Nicholson.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. From The Shining.
Jack Torrance.
Yeah, but, you know. Jack Nicholson.
Carry on.
And Pennywise. You have...
Wait, are these 3 on the island with me?
Well, no. You have to choose. Which one would you have on the island with you?
Annie Wilkes. I'll kill her in 5 seconds.
Would you?
Well, the other 2 will kill me.
Would you kill her in 5 seconds, though? I reckon she could probably.
Give me some fucking credit. What's she going to do?
Alright, it's Annie Wilkes.
Unless I'm tied to her bed, there's not really much other advantage she'd have over me.
Alright, Annie Wilkes then.
What about you?
Pennywise.
Why would you want to be stranded on an island alone with Pennywise?
Because I hate life and I want to die.
And your easiest convenience to achieve that goal is to strand yourself in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle with an interdimensional polymorphic demon from the Macroverse.
Yeah, that's a really cool way to die. Who else has died like that?
A lot of kids in Derry.
Yeah, exactly. But I wouldn't be in Derry.
Fair enough.
I wouldn't be in dairy.
So we
And
mentioned...
then people be at my funeral like, do you hear how he died? Died in a fucking polymorphic fucking clown killer thing. Sitcoms every like 27 years.
I'd love for people to be mumbling at that at my funeral. So how'd he die? Sort of, yeah, the giant clown bit his dick off. And
Yeah. How fucking cool would that be? Do you know, like your gravestone would be fucking hilarious. Mine would be a dick, but the top would be cut off.
I like to think if I became obscenely wealthy, at the point of my death, I'd write it in my will. My lawyer or my executor would have to officiate it or something to hire Stephen King to sit at the very back of the room during my procession and look like he's taking notes. At my funeral. Just hire Stephen
I'd
King.
make that bitch take actual notes and be like, yeah!
That's asking a lot. I think just, I don't know, give him maybe like £100 and let him have free reign on the buffet.
I mean, he fucking writes books for free anyway, so I fucking...
He does, actually. He does. A lot of his books, it's a fun fact, he licenses a lot of his stories out to young filmmakers for $1 so that they can make films on his things.
Yeah.
He calls them his dollar babies.
That sounds... Yeah, okay.
It's meant to be a nice gesture, Rob.
Yeah, but again, come on, man. Pick a better name.
Anyway, let's go to a short story. We talked earlier regarding Children of the Corn. Are you familiar with that in any way? Book or film?
I'm sort of familiar with the film.
Basically, the premise is a couple that are driving down the road on their way to, I believe it was a job interview, or maybe they're eating cake or something. Anyway, a couple...
Eating cooked cake.
Well, yeah.
As opposed to uncooked cake.
That's nice to eat as well.
Uncooked cake?
Yeah.
Uncooked cake? Like cake that hasn't been put in the oven?
Yeah. It still tastes like cake, you know, it's sweet and all that sort of thing. It's like a milkshake that's really bad for you.
You've eaten cake that hasn't... You've eaten like cake that's been... You know, ingredients that haven't been baked.
Have you never eaten like raw cookie dough or anything? Like when your mum made the thing, you got to lick the spoon and all that. It's the same thing.
Yeah, but not a whole cake. Licking the spoon is one thing, but...
Well, sometimes you can't rely on the insurgency of fire.
The insurgency of... The fire is the insurgent of
Okay.
what? Of what? Cooking food?
Confectionery.
Oh no, the insurgents. They must be fought off.
And sometimes you can't rely on that.
What? Rely on what?
Yeah.
Rely on what? Insurgency? What, like the Taliban? That's what the insurgency...
That's not the right time to be dropping that name.
Well, no, I mean, I thought my pull-out game was quick, but fuck me, Biden really did a number on Afghanistan. Anyway,
Hey, a man his age, that's impressive.
he doesn't even know. He probably thought he was in Afghanistan. Anyway, wait. Like a full-blown cake.
You really don't want to talk about Children of the Corn, do you?
No, I do. I'm just trying to get my head around. No, I do. I'm just trying to get my head around. Again, I'm trying to get my head around like a fully made cake that wasn't baked that you said that you ate. And that rhymes.
Well, you just stick a spoon in, you got it in your hand, the pan's all there, it smells kind of nice. Like, do I really want to wait 20 minutes, just sort of treat it like a pudding?
That's not how cake works.
It's all fine. It's not bad for you or anything. You can eat raw.
No, but it's weird.
It still tastes nice.
But not as nice as like an actual baked cake.
Well, if you wanted both after you've eaten it, just make it again.
No, you can't just make it again.
I've got more eggs.
Do you?
Well, yeah, you can only use about 2 or 3 per cake.
Well, it depends how big the cake is and what
That's
cake
true.
you're making.
But my cake tins aren't that
Well, it depends
massive.
what kind of cake, like what kind of cake you're making. Like you're making chocolate cake, lemon drizzle,
I think that's more of a question.
Victoria sponge.
I think those would all require the same amount of eggs, just different
Yeah, ingredients. So
mixes.
you can't always have the mixers.
Yeah, but you can still eat it all
Is
raw.
that even what they're called? Is that even what they're called?
Again, it's just cake pudding.
Yeah, but it's gross though compared to a fucking...
Don't fucking judge me. Of all the things you should judge me for, that's where you draw the line.
I
Raw
can't
cake.
even remember where the fuck this... Where the fuck I can't remember where this conversation sparked from.
I was talking about Children of the Corn, Stephen King.
How do we get from Children of the Corn to unbaked cakes?
Because I was mentioning a couple that were driving down the road for a random reason, and I haphazardly said, I don't know, maybe they're going to eat an uncooked cake or something. And then that just like fucking Kill Bill style triggered you.
Well, I mean, that couple's weird then. If they're driving to eat a half-baked cake, that couple's weird. That's science. So
the couple are driving down the road, and their car breaks down, and basically, long story short, even though it's a short story, they find themselves in a town where there are no adults and only children, and it turns out because one day, all of the children decided to murder all of the adults in the entire town because of a little person. And interestingly enough, in the film, the kid that played the kid that was the ringleader was actually an adult. It was one of those people that had one of those diseases where you look and sound like a child your whole life. And he was
like orphan.
Yeah, it was an amazing performance, to be honest. I'd really recommend it. The child actors are absolutely fantastic.
Have you seen Orphan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Orphan.
What was it? It was Malachi and what was the other kid's name? Anyway, and basically because he thought he was doing the work of God, but it turned out to be an evil demon that had possessed an entire cornfield. And they were the children of the corn.
Yeah.
Yes, an evil thing had possessed a cornfield.
That's cool though, because it's like a unique story. Like you couldn't sort of like write a kind of like rip-off story of that.
I like to think that the way Stephen King's writing process is, okay, what is in this room? Like, what in this room can what is directly out of my window, and what in this room can be haunted? It's just, I mean, there are so many stories. Like, there's like, what's it called? Room 14. What was it? Room fucking 1480, I think it is. It's a famous story about Stephen King wrote about a writer that finds himself trapped inside of a room that makes you go insane. A lot of Stephen King's stories revolve around struggling writers, believe it or not. Struggling writers with substance abuse issues.
That's quite ironic.
Well, Stephen King is the king of King cliches.
Well, it's like Stephen King, like the one writer that everyone knows for not having writer's block. And also substance abuse issues.
Well, I'm sure he's had writer's block again. Well, that's what a big theme of the Tommyknockers was about. The Tommyknockers was about a whole town that once they came across this weird green substance, they suddenly became brilliant. Like they were able to repair stuff around the house without even knowing how. They become super, super smart, but they need to keep taking this weird alien substance. And it turns out aliens at the end were actually just using the goo to sort of feed off humans in the end, to eat them up.
Again, that sounds like a metaphor for meth.
It was more of a metaphor for the idea that taking drugs makes you creative.
Yeah, but yeah, I get.
Oh, and the main character in that film was a struggling alcoholic who was meth. Has-been writer as a poet.
Yeah, it was like meth.
No. I don't think meth makes you creative. I think it's...
Well, no, but the people think that it does.
I think people think a lot of drugs
makes them like really,
addle their mind.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, take drugs. It'll make me this, and that. When actually it doesn't.
Right, 7 minutes.
Wasn't there the thing with George R. R. Martin? That interview?
Oh, they were at a Comic-Con convention, yeah. George R. R. Do you want me to tell it, or do you want to tell it?
You tell it, because you tell it better.
Basically, George R. R. Martin and Sir Stephen King were on a panel in a convention. I can't remember which sort of con it was. Basically, they were talking about writing, and there's one point where George R. R. Martin talks to Sir Stephen King, like...
Because they were mates. They were mates in, college, I think.
I'm not sure about that myself.
I know they're friends.
Oh, yeah, they've been writers for years, I imagine.
Yeah, and I know they've been friends for a long time as well.
Right. And there's a moment George R. R. Martin says to Stephen King, do you ever sometimes wake up and wish that you'd never even picked up a pen, once in your life, that you'd never put down a single word onto paper or even published a single book, that all of it just gets so in your head and all the demand just gets so overwhelming you'd wish you'd never even started in the first place? And Stephen King says, no, not really.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah.
I thought it was, really? I remember it. I thought it was do you ever get writer's block where you just can't write anything?
No.
Stephen King says no.
It was George R. R. Martin sort of lamenting about what an absolute pain in the ass writing can be and all that sort of thing. And Stephen King's like, no mate, no idea. I fucking love writing. And George R. R. Martin sort of treats writing like it's a fucking curse. Like, oh, I'm so sick of all these fucking nerds. I just want to sit at home and eat cheesy nachos until my fucking suspenders burst. Like,
to be fair though, it's like, that's the question actually, isn't it? It's like,
well, that's the thing. No one was happy with the ending of Game of Thrones, the TV series, so we have to hope that chubby bastard makes it to give us a better ending. At least now he knows what not to write. Because he knows what everyone hated. All he has to do is give us completely a different ending, and no matter what it is, we'll all say it was better than the TV show ending.
Yeah. The thing is, though, I feel, though, that there is this kind of things going on with people. It's like, oh, yeah, well, it's like, oh, because people paid attention to what was written and the story and stuff, and they guessed what was going to happen. It's like, oh, we need to not make it that so we can shock people. It's like, no.
Oh, subverted expectation.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, no. It's like, reward the people that paid attention. You know, because that's way better than just being like, oh, yeah, we'll give you this ending that you didn't expect, even though it's shit. It's like, no, mate.
Yeah, some people...
No, reward people. So, like, you paid attention. Well done for paying attention. This is what it is. And then people can say, yeah, that's what it's like. I think that's way better than just, oh, yeah, no. I changed it because you guys guessed it, and I think I'm smart.
Do you think a lot of fans did call a lot of stuff?
Yeah, they did, because they paid attention. And they should be rewarded for paying attention.
Part of me's worried that's going to happen with Rick and Morty. I reckon everyone's theory about evil Morty is probably correct, and now the writers are going to do something completely left-wing.
But the thing is, it's like, again, like, Rick and Morty fans kind of have a bit of a bad rap. Oh, yeah, you can't watch it without things. You see,
you feel embarrassed to call yourself a Rick and Morty fan, the way their fan base acts.
It's like, mate, you've got a character in there called Principal Vagina. Calm down.
Let's not forget about Mr. Poopy Butthole.
No. Your cartoon that you watch is real smart. Yeah, you're definitely
You just don't understand the complex philosophical...
Yeah, Mr. Poopy Butthole and Principal Vagina... Yeah, no, real smart shit, mate.
Just because just because the main character is depressed does not mean he's complex.
Yeah. Also, you're not like Rick. You're a Jerry, at least.
That's the thing. So many people say that. The whole Rick and Morty fan base thinks they're Ricks when actually they're Jerrys. No, they're Beths. Because Beth is the character that's obsessed with Rick and is always trying to get Rick's approval and act like Rick and make everyone else and look like and come off as a complete asshole for that.
Yeah, but they're all 13 years old, so they can't buy booze and drink wine like Beth can. So
I like Rick and Morty.
Yeah, I do too. I don't like the fans.
I didn't go to a fucking McDonald's and harass minimum wage workers that were just trying to do their job by acting like a fucking cunt.
Yeah, it's like Szechuan sauce. It's like, okay, that was a thing, right? And it was supposed to be a dumb joke in a cartoon.
Mulan, wasn't
it? For Rick to be obsessed with. But then people were like, oh yeah, Szechuan sauce.
The thing is, you're a fan of Stranger Things, aren't you? Yes. Apparently after that came out in America, Eggo waffles became a hit again. So the weirdest things that are in popular TV shows can make a resurgence.
Yeah, but it's different though. Like just buying Eggo waffles versus going up to like a McDonald's employee saying, I want some Szechuan sauce. Like, we don't sell it anymore.
And everyone became so obsessed with pickle.
Thing is, I have a Rick and Morty t-shirt, but I don't wear it out in public. Because I know that some motherfucker is going to come up to me and be like, wubba-lubba-dub-dub. I'll be like, oh, fuck off, mate. Like,
So many fan bases ruin the thing you like. There are a lot of toxic Whovians as well, sort of thing. Toxic Whovians, fucking people that are... I'm sure, well, you yourself, we've talked about, like, as a hobby... Is Warhammer referred to as hobbycraft sort of thing? Like, you've met toxic people that do that yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Gatekeeping, neckbeards, smug, self-righteous sacks of human cunt.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing, though. It's like any sort of thing gets, like, toxic people that just exist everywhere, right? That's where it is, isn't it?
There's even toxic stuff in, like, the fan base of a lot of anime. Because you imagine fucking, like you say, like two fans of anime talking endlessly about that, acting like self-righteous cunts.
Yeah, exactly. Saying like, oh, this is this, this is that, this is that.
Only assholes talk about anime.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh. Wait,
but anyway,
hold on.
I want to say for a fact that during the last 5 seconds... Oh, wait, there's still a minute and a thing there. Stephen King is the best.
Stephen King, I believe 100%. Stephen King will still be a name that people remember within the next, I imagine, like 50 years.
I'd say 100.
Yeah,
I doubt we'll never get another writer like Stephen King.
I think...
Except maybe R.L. Stein. He apparently published more books than Stephen King.
Quantity...
Are you familiar with Goosebumps?
What, the TV show?
Yeah, that's the guy who wrote that, R.L. Stein. He was Oh, to be fair though, his books are like 40 pages long each, and he's got like there's like 500 of them. But you made it a bit easy for yourself, Stein.
I feel I feel that Stephen King is not a name that's going to disappear anytime soon, for sure. I think Stephen King definitely still will be.
Quick thing, hands down, favourite Stephen King character across all of them. So all the way between Andy Dufresne to fucking Roland from The Dark Tower.
Cujo.
Oh shit, we didn't talk about Carrie.
I love
Cujo, Carrie, Christine. Oh shit, the possessed car. Maybe we'll do a sequel.
Okay, maybe. But Cujo, I like dogs.
Yeah, but... would you really recommend Cujo as a movie for dog lovers?
No.
Yeah, I'm about to say, that's right up there with recommending John Wick for dog lovers.
But I don't like those people. I like Cujo.
So every time Cujo killed someone, you were like, yeah, good boy, you get some.
Yeah. Were you not? Were you not?
To be fair, you don't really root for the victims in horror films, do you?
Well, no. I mean, it was...
Who do you root for?
Well, it depends what horror film.
I don't think I've ever watched a horror film and I hope everyone survives. There's the thing with horror films, they don't make characters likeable anymore. They used to.
That's the whole point.
The older Friday the 13th movies, you get characters that are actually quirky. They'd have good relationships with each other and they'd be interesting and actually funny. So you didn't want to see them die. In a lot of modern horror, everybody that gets killed is an asshole. So when they die horribly, you feel nothing.
Yeah. Well, or you feel good. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Is that you're like, oh, these people are arseholes, and when they get killed, you feel like, yeah, fuck you.
Isn't the whole point, like, they're meant to kill innocent, relatable people? That scares you because you're an innocent, relatable person.
Nah, it's exploitation, man. They've got to kill the people that you hate. And you'll be like, yeah, fuck yeah, you deserve to die. That's the whole point.
With their tits out.
Yeah, obviously.
A horror film without tits, is that really a horror film, except for The Exorcist?
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, like
I think The Exorcist...
If it hasn't got tits in it, how are you going to get, like, 50% of, like, the human race to watch it?
I don't know. I'd rather see arse than tits, but that's just my preference.
Well,
I think tits have too much of a plethora in Hollywood. If you're going to have nudity that gets you the R rating or something, don't just have a few nipples. That's boring. Everyone loves a few cheeks.
Well, no, you have to, because, like, the thing is, like,
nipples are boring.
If they've got good hips, they've probably got a good arse. If they've got a good arse, it means they probably have good legs, which means you got 3 in 1.
I don't know about his, but I would often say legs are a good indication of whether or not they've got a good arse. If they've got strong quads, they've got strong cheeks.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point. So you can tell. Whereas, oh, you got tits. Well, that's a one-trick pony, my man.
And just about say, let's be fair here, anyone can have tits, you know, if you eat enough.
or get surgery.
Yeah, that's true. Those are,
Yeah, 100%.
Although, can't you get arse surgery? Like, you can get, like, butt shit.
Yeah, you can, but the thing is, I can spot fake shit from 100 miles away.
You should put that on your CV.
I will.
Stephen King, write a book about that.
Yeah.
A guy that can psychically tell anything that's fake.
Or
stay off the internet.
Make it more real and just be a guy that fucking knows. Like me.
Wait, that sounds more like an episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be in that.
I'll be in that too.
I'll be in that, yeah.
Anyway, let us know down in the comments your favourite Stephen King movie, your favourite Stephen King book, or even your favourite Stephen King... Holy shit, we didn't talk about it.
Stephen King character. Yeah, we did a bit.
Yeah, but I feel like that should have taken up like 20 minutes. Let us know down in the comments if you want a sequel to this episode, because we can talk a lot more.
I'll say my piece. All right, it is not the scariest killer clown out there in media. Art from Terrifier and All Hallows Eve makes Pennywise look like a fucking pussy bitch.
The clown from American Horror Story was pretty good too. From Circus.
No, he was good. He was better than it. Way better than it.
What, even including Skarsgård?
Oh, yeah. Because the thing is, those clowns, See, it is a supernatural thing. For me, supernatural shit doesn't get me. Real stuff, like actual people, like, because he's based on John Wayne Gacy, like the actual killer clown that was a serial killer. You know, that stuff gets me. Like, I like real life stuff. But, like, if you're supernatural and you look like clowns, like, okay, supernatural clown, whatever. Nah, man, you got to. I'm sorry, Pennywise. I'm sorry. You're low on the list. And you ain't doing any better, even with your other two films. You ain't doing any better. Multi-million-dollar
long film
budget and a long film, but Terrifier, which was like $350,000 or something like that, fucking tiny budget film, fucking kicked your ass. Art is way better than Pennywise, and I defy you, sir, madam, or anyone in between to tell me any different. Pennywise is weak sauce.
Keyboard warriors, head down to the comment section right now and, what do they say? Epically wreck Rob.
Yeah. I mean,
post those comments, guys. We want to see if you want a sequel to this, because we could go on for a while about so many other things. Again, we missed out Carrie, Christine, Needful Things, which also had a Stephen King Rick and Morty episode.
Which Carrie though? Because there's two.
Oh yeah, I liked the remake. Anyway, but yes, let us know down in the comments section.
And until next time, you've been listening to
Laughing on a